Radio check. Loud and clear? Good. Alright. It's been about 3 weeks since my last stream. A lot has gone on in the last few weeks. I went on a vacation and came back and went job hunting and all of that stuff. Lot to do all at the same time. But finally have some free time now that that's all over with, at least for the time being. And thought I'd hop in here, do a nice classic flight in the PMDG 737. Today we're running from Denver to Los Angeles, which is a real-life Southwest flight, real operations. And I managed to pick up a copy of the Boris audio works for the PMDG 737 series, and boy, is it really good. I did some testing with it earlier in the week when I had a couple of minutes to do so, and it's very realistic, it's very good. I can definitely see why a lot of people like it. I'm very glad I picked it up, very glad I got access, and we're going to roll with it. Very, very fun stuff. But weather in Denver today is looking like a little bit of a lowish cloud ceiling. Not really all a ceiling, to be honest with you. That's more scattered than anything, but we got some clouds to go through. But other than that, we got some sun poking through. Weather in LA, I actually did not check yet. That might be a good thing to do while we're sitting here, just to see what we're getting ourselves into. And LA is also looking pretty good. Winds on the surface are kind of calm. We do have some turbulence expected in the cruise altitudes, kind of over the California mountains as we're coming in. Shouldn't be too bad. It looks like it's going to be slightly out of our path, but just in case, we'll keep an eye out for the turbulence. We'll keep everyone in their seats with their seatbelts fastened if anything gets too out of hand. So, yeah, there it is. While I was sitting here, I did pick up a pre-departure clearance from Denver. They signed on since I loaded in, which is really cool. And we have a PDC, a squawk code, and all of that, so we're about ready to go. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump in the cockpit here, and we'll get ourselves ready to start loading some information. Go to the overhead panel here. I'm just going to verify that the gear lever is down, the speed brakes are up, flaps are up, thrust levers idle, reversers are stowed. That's good, looking good there, cool. So we can provide power to the aircraft, get the battery on. We'll arm the emergency lights as well. And we don't need any dome lights because it is day, but I will be turning the panel lights on because we're expecting the sun to begin setting as we make our way towards LA. So let's get these panel lights going on all sides. And we'll come down here and turn the lower floodlights, although it looks like all of the lights came on with the panel lights. That's really interesting. Oh, I'm turning the floods on here. What am I doing? There we go. Been a minute since I hopped in this aircraft, so if I'm a little bit washy, that's why. Cool, so we're good to go. We'll turn the left forward fuel pump on so we can get our APU started. Let's go ahead and do that. And now we're just going to watch for the EGT to start coming up, and we can get some of that sound going here. Listen to that ticking motion, or the ticking sound. God, that sound audio is just so good. The man Boris did a fine job. Nice. Alright, so we're coming in here. We're looking for the EGT to drop down to about 3. And once the APU gen becomes available, we'll get the generators on and we will get our flows started. There it is. Alright, so to begin our flows, the first thing we're going to do is come up here and we're going to turn our IRSs over to nav mode and let those align. Then we will show ourselves the status page and see how many minutes it will take to align. Should pop up here any second. 7 minutes, cool. 7 minutes is not too bad. Alright, let's go ahead and begin our flows. So our standby flight controls, alternate flaps, and spoilers are all in the armed and in the on and guarded position. That's good. I'm sorry, flight control surfaces armed and guarded, on and guarded. Standby hydraulics are, the lights are extinguished, so that's good. Everything's guarded here. We're good to go there. Yaw damper can stay off for now. Navigation instruments are all looking in the normal position, just where we want it. Cool. Source for the display is on auto. Control panel is on normal, just where we want it. Fuel pump, so we got the left forward pump on exactly how we want it for the APU. We'll turn this knob over to APU Gen and make sure we have positive AC and positive DC volts. We are getting power generation to the aircraft, so we're not losing any battery power. That's good. Battery is on and guarded. The AC are all on. That's looking good there. Cool. Our standby power is all auto and guarded. Everything looks good there. APU Gen is turned on. We have panel lights on. Our equipment cooling is on the normal position, just where we want it for now. Our emergency lights are armed and guarded. We will turn on the fasten seatbelt signs while people are boarding the aircraft. And then we're going to test for alert audio. So the flight attendant button works, then ground call. Cool, we have audio there. That's good. Window heats are going to come on here. Probe heats can stay off for now. Anti-ice we don't need right now. Hydraulic pumps, the electric pumps can stay off for now. That's just fine. We'll test the cockpit voice recorder. Hold in that green button until we get a green light, which we do. Look at that. Cabin pressure is all zeroed because we're on the ground. We're not pressurizing. That's good. Voice recorder's on auto. That's good enough. We got all of our cab temperatures and whatnot in the auto position, which is just fine. The research fans are on auto. That's where we want them. We'll throw the packs on auto. ISOL valve can stay open, and the APU bleed is going to come on, and we will have a nice and cooler cabin temp for the people in the back. That went really low. That was like 50 degrees. That is also the AC unit, so that looks fine right there. We got some duct pressure going on here. That's good. All right, our cruise altitude today is going to be 36,000 feet, flight level 360. So we'll go ahead and set that. Then we'll go to our official flight plan, and we'll check our landing altitude at LA, which is 128 feet. So we'll send the landing altitude to 150. That looks good. Logo lights are on, nav lights are on, everything else can stay off for now. The engine ignition is in the off position. That's good for now. Go to the upper panel here. We'll test the flap lights. Good here. All of them come on. That's good. We have 4 minutes for the IRSs to align. They are currently aligning as designated by the lights. And let's see, audio panel's looking good here. These lights are all extinguished, just how we want it. Crew oxygen is above 15, so that looks good. Passenger oxygen, normal and guarded. And we have 3 greens up here for the landing gear. That's excellent. We'll test the Mach airspeed warning. Cool. Those both work. And stick shaker one is working. We're going to have to wait a little bit for the power to generate so we get our number 2 stall warning test. Flight recorder is also normal and guarded. Cool. So we'll come down here, and we will... First, before I do the autopilot, I'm going to go to my electronic flight bag, and I'm going to look at the departure. We were cleared to climb via the SID. Standard instrument departure. Oop, oh, you know what? I have to pull my flight plan from SimBrief. There we go. And look at that, it all loads in there for me. Cool, we'll go to departure, which is KDEN, Denver International. Go to SIDS, and we are on the Baylor 6 departure. So let's go ahead and look that up right there. And then we want to be at or below 10,000 by Borkum is what I'm going to assume that name is. That's good. Top altitude, we're looking at flight level, it's kind of hard to read. Flight level 230. So let's go ahead and put 230 in our altitude bug for the autopilot. Cool. And then all the rest of this we'll handle once we get more information before we take off. All right, so let's grab... since Denver is online, they do have ATIS. So let's go ahead and grab that. And I like to just click on it and read it on vPilot because it is insanely loud for... to be over the radio. So we got winds 190 at 8, so we're expecting to take off south. What runway are we expecting here? Expect runway 25. All right, so we're expecting runway 25. So we'll go ahead and put the heading bug to match the runway heading. So the heading bug, there we go. And then just reading more information here. Okay, cool. So back to the ATIS information. The altimeter is 2984. So let's go and set that 2984. We're good on the altimeter setting, and it is a hot day in Denver, so performance is going to be pretty low. 23 degrees Celsius. That's roughly about 80 degrees or so. That's a nice warm day for Denver. To do bird activity. All right, and this is information uniform. Cool. So everything is set up here, and we have our autopilot set. Now we'll just run across the board here. So our main panel DUs and lower DUs are both in the normal position. We'll go ahead and test our lights here for the autopilot alerts. Good. Test all of the lights. Everything lights up like a Christmas tree. Look at that. Everything looks good. Put that back down to normal. N1 set, speed ref, both on auto. Fuel flow we'll set to rate. That's just fine. We'll put the auto brake to off for now. Flaps are up. 3 greens on the landing gear. Gear lever is down. We'll test the autopilot alerts on this side as well. Cool. And DU switches are in the normal position here. Running across the board, we're still looking good. We'll leave our screens up for now, and then if it gets darker and these screens get too bright, we will dim them as we continue to go on. And then before we get into the FMC, we're just going to check our throttle quadrant here. I'm going to test the fault in op system, and we get lights. That's good. And then overheat and fire, we get lights, the bells, everything works just as intended. Cool. And then test the fire extinguishers, we get 3 greens on both sides, which we do. Cool. And we'll come down to the radio panel. Everything is set for now. Coming down here, just making sure everything looks just as how I want it, which it does. Come up here, we'll test the cargo fire. All of the lights illuminate, and we do have bells. Cool. And we do have a squawk code from ATC since they are, in fact, online. And just going to confirm that was 2231. Yes, it was. So squawk 2231. And we are going to put our transponder on TA/RA, Traffic Advisory / Resolution Authority. Cool. Our trims are looking good right now, and the radio panels all on the other side are looking just as good. All right, let's go to the FMC here. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a position in it, if I could speak. Our reference airport is Denver International, KDEN. We'll slap that there. We'll go to next page, grab our GPS left now that it's there. Go to previous page and set our IRS position. Good. Double check how long we have to align. Oh, it looks like they're aligned. They are aligned. Cool. All right, so origin, it's typed out for us, Denver International, and we are going to Los Angeles International, Kilo, Lima, Alpha, X-ray. Cool. Slap that there. Our flight is Southwest 341 today. Sweet. And just going to verify we are cleared along our route in our pre-departure clearance here, which everything looks the same. Sweet. So we're going the Baylor 6 departure. So let's go to Denver departure here. Baylor 6. And we're doing the Teru transition. Excuse me if I butchered that. And then we are taking off runway 25. So we'll slap that in there. That's good. Go to route. We'll activate that, execute, and then we'll go to next page and start adding our en-route waypoints. So from Theru, we're going direct to Jassy, Juliet, Alpha, Sierra, Sierra Echo. And then from Jassy, we're going to be doing the Q90 airway, Q90. Throw it on the left side here. And we're following that all the way to Dinero, Delta, November, Echo, Romeo, Oscar. And then Dinero is actually the transition into our arrival, so we'll go ahead and execute that, go to our arrivals page, LAX. We will throw in our arrival, which is the Angel 4, which I already passed. There we go, Angel 4, Dinero transition. And we don't have a runway yet, so we're not going to select one. So we'll execute as is for now. Then we're just going to remove any possible discontinuities that might exist, which they do not, so that's good to go. Cool. So now let's go to the init ref page and start putting in some performance data. And we'll start with gross weight, and we'll use our ramp weight for gross weight, which is looking at 146.6. Oops. One too many decimals. 146.6. Cool. Our planned fuel, we already have the fuel that we're using on board. We're not adding any, so we're just going to leave this as is. Our zero fuel weight, 129.1, does match what's on our official flight plan here, so that's good. Reserves, we're looking at 4.5. So we'll throw that in there. What cost index does it want us to use? Ooh, a cost index of 6. So we're looking to save some money today if I have that correct. Our cruise altitude today is going to be flight level 360. And then for our cruise wind, I'm just going to put in the top of climb wind, which is 290 at 3.1. At 3.1 here. Cool. Throw that in cruise wind. Outside air temperature is looking good. We'll execute that performance data, go to N1 limit. Then we're going to go to the EFB here and put in our performance data so we can see what kind of D rate we're going to get on the ground here. So we're going to do runway 25. Ooh, that was very blurry motion right there. Runway length is 12,000 feet. That's good. Runway condition is dry. That's correct. We're just going to import the data from the aircraft, the weights and everything. It does match according to what I have, so that's good. And we will also import the weather. And that also looks like it matches as well. Let's go ahead and calculate that. Awesome. So we're just doing a standard takeoff, no D rate or anything. Our N1 percentage should be about 96. So let's just verify we're on the TO setting. We are. It's looking at 100.7. Oh yeah, I got to put in the temperature here. We're looking a select temp of 42 degrees Celsius. So let's throw that up in the top left here. Yep, 96 on the dot. That's good for percentage. I like it. And let's go to takeoff. We're going to do a, according to this, flaps 5 takeoff, which is standard. Good. V speeds 142, 144, and 146. Just going to verify that matches, which it does. Sweet. Look at that. And our CG trim we're just going to put here, 25.8. And our trim is going to be 4.6. So let's go ahead and just set that up ahead of time. And that's about 4.6 right there, if anyone else agrees. Cool. All right. So that's looking good. Go back to the FMC here. So all of our performance data is good. Just going to double check our VNAV information here. 290 seems like a pretty standard climb speed. Cruise 0.76 on the Mach. That looks good. And descent is also looking pretty standard. Excellent. All right. So we have our FMC loaded up. Everything is looking good here. And we'll go back to the electronic flight bag. We're going to pull the airport information. Oh, there we go. And we're going to... So we're right over here. We're expecting runway 25, which is on the south side of the field here. So we're going to be taking off towards the west. So we can expect a taxi via Charlie Sierra, most likely to Golf, and then Golf down to runway 25. So that's the taxi we'll expect. So we'll keep that up and running. Cool. Now we're going to pretend like our passengers are loaded up and we're ready to go. We'll get rid of these master cautions for now. We'll go ahead and turn the yaw damper on right here on the ground. Cool, the light extinguishes. That's what I like to see. That's good. We'll go ahead and turn our fuel pumps on. Let's check we have anything on the center tank, which we do, 0.19. So we'll go ahead and turn the center tank pumps on as well. And we're going to flip this switch over to Gen 1. So when we get the engine generators on, we can verify that we're getting positive charge from engine power. That's good. Everything else is guarded and closed. Not going to touch that. Fasten seatbelt signs are on. Window heat's still on. Probe heats can stay off for now. We'll turn on the electric hydraulic pumps for pushback, and those lights extinguish, and these ones for the flight controls do as well, so we're getting positive hydraulic pressure. That's good. And for engine start, we want the packs off, because in the 737 it is not automatic. We'll keep the APU bleed on, because we'll need that to start our engines, and we will get our beacon light on by turning on anti-collision lights here. And everything up top looks good, and we'll double check stall warning test 2. And the stick shaker works on that side as well. A couple final things. We'll test the GPWS, ground proximity warning system. And we'll look for the alerts and all of the symbols here.
Pull up. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up. Airspeed low. Airspeed low.
Cool. And then once this goes away, I'll go ahead and throw a TCAS test on there, see how long it takes to disappear. Get my radio panel set up while I can. I don't think that's... Oh, there we go. Finally disappeared. Now we'll test the TCAS. And make sure we got the red bars on the attitude indicator. We have traffic blips on our MFD, which is good. And then we'll wait for the audible pass.
TCAS test. Pass.
Look at that. All right, the aircraft is about ready to go. So our beacon light is on. So now, I like to do this via the FMC because if I do it via the EFB here, it doesn't like to do it on the first click, and then sometimes it backs itself up. So I'm just going to go to FS Actions. We're going to close the main door. Wait for that to close entirely. Alright, cool. It's closed, armed, ground services. We will relinquish the jetway and verify that that pulls away from the aircraft. Which it does. Cool. Alright, now we can set ourselves up for pushback, and then ATC does want us to call them for push, so let's go ahead and throw a tug on there. We're definitely doing a turn nose to the left, and then we'll call Denver Tower, if that's who I'm still calling. Going to verify on VATSIM that that's who's online. There is no ground. So yeah, 124.3 on the frequency. So let's go ahead and get that loaded up here on my radio panel. Takes a fat minute to scroll. Cool, 124.3. We'll switch over. Now we're on the tower frequency, and we'll let them know we're about ready for push. We're getting a fuel indication because our center tank is running low, but we do have fuel in there that I'd like to burn off, so we're just going to leave the pumps on for now. We'll just extinguish the master caution, and then most likely after takeoff we'll turn that off. Unable to 80 knots at Gleason. Oh, that's fine for now. We'll change the VNAV profile if we have to. All right, let's give them a call. Denver Tower, good afternoon. Southwest 341, gate Charlie 50, ready for push and start.
We'll contact departure 120.35 is the latest what you said, Southwest 704. Hey, firm, good flight.
I didn't mean to block anyone.
Last call for push, say again.
Southwest 341, sorry about that. Gate Charlie 50, ready for push.
Southwest 341, no problem at all. Push and start approved, push straight back, stop the first line, advise ready for taxi information, uniform, correct?
Alright, push straight back first line, and we do have uniform for Southwest 341. Alright, so they want us to push straight back, so let's actually put that into the push style here. We'll do self-drive, doesn't really work, so we'll do straight out, and then we'll get the tug back on there, and we are ready for push. Let's get it started. And they want us on the first line.
Beacons on, brakes released, clear to push, straight out.
Okay. Brace released.
Copy that. Clear to push straight back. Release the parking brake, please.
Southwest 1943 on Navigator, runway 1, something off clip, takeoff, wind 140, at 8. Our Navigator, copy clearance, Southwest 1943.
And push should start in just a second. Alright, look at that. And we'll give ourselves some space to, so we can start engines. Make sure we're clear behind, which is looking good. Alright, let's go ahead and give this engine a start. We're going to go to the overhead panel here. We're going to throw our right engine in ground. We're going to look for the change in duct pressure. We do have a change right there. That's good. Now we're going to look for N2 to rise, which it is.
Southwest 1943, contact departure 120.35, good flight.
And 25% N2, introducing fuel.
Southwest 1943, I just want to verify 120.35, 2035. 2035.
And we're pushing to the first line here, and we'll listen to that engine start and how beautiful it is. truly amazing sounds with this sound pack. I love it. Alright, oops. Well, they didn't quite push us back far enough. Kind of wish I would have stopped that by myself. I gotta get some kind of pushback plug-in that's better than this. Let's go ahead and set the brakes, and we'll just start engine 1.
Thanks for the smooth push. We'll see ya.
And we're looking for the change in duct pressure, which we got.
Yeah, no problem.
That's looking good.
Disconnected the tow bar now. Stand by.
And N2 is rising.
The tow bar is disconnected. We're disconnecting the interphone now. Pin will be on the right side. We'll see you guys. Take care.
And we have 25% N2. We'll go ahead and introduce fuel and monitor our engine gauges. Alright, oil pressure is rising, oil temp is rising. We'll look at EGT and verify that that's normal. We got a normal rise there. Cool. Let's go ahead and listen to this other side. Truly amazing sounds. Alright. So our EGT is normal, everything's looking normal, nothing's in the red. We have 2 good engine starts from what it seems. We'll just wait for the engine to stabilize. Alright, and engines are stable. We have 2 good starts. Alright, go to the overhead panel here and just get it ready for taxi here. We're looking good. Fuel pumps are on. Engine generators are coming on. We have positive voltage, positive AC. We're looking good there. We have power provided to the aircraft. Probe heats are coming on. Anti-ice is off. It is 80 degrees or so here in Denver, so no anti-ice is needed. Hydraulic pumps are on. We're looking good there. We'll go ahead and turn the packs back on. The ISOL valve can go to auto. And the APU bleed can come off. We do not have a use for that anymore. The APU is coming off as well. And the overhead panel looks good. And we're going to set our auto brakes to RTO, reject to takeoff. We're doing a flaps 5 departure. So we'll do flaps 5, verify that that sets. And while we're waiting for those to drop, we're going to go to our systems page down here in the bottom. And we're just going to check the flight controls. So we're going to go full right. Aileron and spoilers are up on the right side. Aileron is down on the left. That's good. Full left. Aileron up. Spoilers up. Aileron down on the right side. Full elevator forward or back. And full back, forward, whatever you want to call it. And rudder is full deflection both sides. And flight controls are free and correct. And we do have flaps 5. So we'll go back to our system page so we can monitor, or I'm sorry, engine page so we can monitor the engines as we go. Verify transponders on and everything like that. We're looking good. Alright, and I'm going to turn the flight directors on. The one thing I forgot to do was V2 plus 10. We're just going to assume is 160 because I don't want to hold up the gate area any longer. So we'll do that. And flight directors are both on and we're ready for taxi. Alright, so let's do a taxi light on and we'll call ready to taxi. And Denver Tower, Southwest 341 is ready to taxi.
Southwest 341, Denver Tower, runway 25, taxi via Bravo November, Golf.
Runway 25, taxi via Bravo November Golf, Southwest 341. If I could speak. Alright, get this iPad nice and close. So we're going Bravo November Golf. So let's just look at that real quick. So Bravo November is actually on the bottom side here, which is really interesting. And then we're just going to go Golf there and Golf all the way to runway 25. Cool. Let's get those brakes off and we will start our taxi. And we're just going to check both sides here. Verify if we cross that we're not going to be smacking into anyone, which we're not. So let's go straight over to Bravo November here. That's the taxiway on the south side of the gate area here. Shoot kind of across.
Delta 626, contact Denver departure 120.35. Good flight.
120.35 Delta 626 to you.
And I'll get pen in hand just in case.
UPSA 14 Heavy, welcome to Denver. You can roll the end and taxi to parking this frequency. Good flight.
Taxi parking this frequency, UPSA 14 Heavy, thanks.
Alright, give it a little more power. 13 knots is kind of slow, especially for Southwest. We want to do a Southwest taxi, make it as accurate as possible. And Gulf is going to be, I believe, our second left. Our first left is going to be a hotel, so we'll cross that and then turn left on Gulf. Alright, so we're looking at a hotel right there, I believe. So we'll pass hotel. And our center tank is about run out, so we'll go ahead and turn those pumps off. And then we're making a left turn on Gulf, which is right up this first intersection right here. Kind of going downhill, so I'm not going to add any power because this aircraft is going to want to roll. Cool. Alright, now that we're at the bottom of that hill, we'll give it a little power and get back up to a normal taxi speed, and this will be Gulf all the way down to runway 25. And since we're doing Gulf all the way down, I'm just going to get the departure chart loaded in the EFB right off the bat. We are doing the Baylor 6. There you go, now it's loading in, cool. And take off from runway 25. We're going to be heading 263 and then direct Barocum after we cross 5,934 feet. So let's go ahead and get our LNAV armed on the ground. We'll get level change armed on the ground as well. And then once we get in the air, I will switch over to VNAV. You know what? Might be useful just to do VNAV right now. Kind of losing some taxi speed going uphill, so let's give ourselves a boost. The terrain data at this airport is very, very wonky. I highly doubt that it's this hilly and all screwed up in real life, but then again, I've never been, so it could be very much accurate, but I don't think it's that aggressive. Airports are usually designed to be flatter. A solid 20-21 knot taxi is just fine. And I'll be expecting a takeoff clearance any second here.
Southwest 341, Arnett, Burkham, runway 25, clear for takeoff, 1140 at 10.
Arnett Burkham 25, clear for takeoff, Southwest 341. Alright, strobes are on, landing lights are on, we are good to take off, we are cleared. Let's go ahead and get on that runway. And I'll set the pen down for now. And we're lining up. Confirm runway 25, which is what I got. Excellent. Alright, 40% N1. Engines are stable. Well, toga.
Airspeed alive.
Okay. Cross check. Engine gauges are good.
V1.
Rotate. Nice easy lift on the nose.
Positive rate.
Gear up. And we'll have to redo LNAV because for some reason that didn't quite work on the...
Southwest 341, contact over departure, 120.35, good flight.
12035, Southwest 341, good day. Alright, we'll get that autopilot on. We'll do 12035. Okay. Denver departure, good afternoon, Southwest 341, climbing through 7,000, climbing via SID. Okay, and we're going to start picking up speed. Flaps 1. Oh, it's 355. Okay. Alright, 350, there we go. Denver departure, good afternoon. Southwest 341, climbing through 7,600.
Southwest 341, Denver departure.
Flaps
radar
up.
Contact, climb and maintain, flight level 230.
Climb and maintain, flight level 230, Southwest 341. Alright, so the gear is up, we're in the air. Gear lever can go in the off position, flaps are up, auto brake is off, and we are picking up speed. And we'll go ahead and give ourselves a heading sync. Cool. And verify we're not accidentally busting any speed restrictions. Accelerate. Okay, yeah, 250 knots. So we want to be at least 250 knots, which we are, so that's good. Not going to bust any speed restrictions by accident there. Everything's looking good. Engine gauges are still stable. Plane's going a little faster than 250 under 10,000 for some reason. I mean, we're close, but we don't want to be... Oh, you know what? That's why I forgot to arm my auto throttle. Whoops. Alright, so now we're above 10,000. Landing lights and runway turnoffs are all coming off. Taxi lights off, and we'll advise the flight attendants. Okay. Flight attendants advised. And now we're climbing through 10,000 and going up to flight level 230. I was almost on point, just forgot to arm the auto throttle. And we are on the proper departure course. And let's go outside and listen to this audio real quick. Oh. Honestly sounds so good. Peace out, Denver. I love those sounds. See what it sounds like from the cabin. Oh yeah. Sounds like we're in the real plane. That's actually amazing. Alright, get back in the cockpit here and monitor our climb. Give another heading sync. Alright, now that we're in the air and we're along the departure, I'm going to zoom out on the map. Get a broader view. There we go. And we'll get the center frequency on standby, which is 12765. Performance is a little tough, mostly because of the cost index. Huh. I didn't realize that N1 wasn't armed. That'll probably help us climb a little faster. We're at 16,000 feet and the temperature is, total air temperature is still 10 degrees Celsius, so icing is not of a concern right now. Very, very warm in this area. Gonna double check the overhead panel, just make sure everything looks good. Our gear is up. Love to see it.
Southwest 341, contact Denver Center 127.65, safe flight.
12765, Southwest 341, good night. Okay. Denver Center, good afternoon. Southwest 341, flight level 177, climbing flight level 230. I shouldn't have said that, but it's not flight level until 180, but...
Southwest 341, Denver Center, maintain flight level 360.
Climb and maintain flight level 360, Southwest 341. Alright, so now we're cleared up to cruise. Let's get that set in our autopilot. Cool. And we are above 18,000, so altimeters are going to standard.
Southwest 1104, the Meyer space, Albuquerque's offline, frequency change approved.
And the winds are pretty good out here. Only 20 knots at 20,000 feet. Works in our favor on the way to LA, so we don't have to fight too crazy of a headwind. Okay, so total air temperature. You know, since we're going through moisture right now, engine ignition to continuous, and we'll throw the engine anti-ice on. They light up and they dim, so anti-ice is on. And then we'll wait until we get above these clouds right here to turn that back off. Because now we are below freezing.
United at 16 knots, the really Meyer space, helicopter offline, frequency change approved.
This is change for United 16 second.
We are kind of headed right into the sun here, so that's providing some pretty good glare into our cabin. Alright, it looks like we are above the cloud layer that we were rolling through, so let's turn the engine anti-ice back off. Both lights extinguished, that's good, and the ignition switches to off. There we go. And we're looking good. Get a little bit of an outside view in the climb here. That sound is so nice.
Southwest at 341, recycled transponder, squawk 6654.
Okay. Squawk 6654, Southwest 341. I think that's the first time I ever got a transponder recycle. Alright, 6654, there we go. And we'll verify that that got put into our radio panel.
Southwest 1943,
There we go.
Albuquerque offline, frequency change approved.
Over to the dark side. Southwest 1943, zip.
Over to the dark side, I haven't heard that one. And everything is still looking good in the climb. We can barely see those engine gauges. Look at that. Okay. Still looking good there. I was given a squawk code through Auto ATC because when I first signed into vPilot, Denver was not online, and then they just kept that squawk code, so I wonder if they already had someone maybe in the LA area with that code and decided I needed to change mine, but it's the first time I ever got that. Kind of fun. And out of curiosity, I'm going to go on VATSIM radar here and see just how busy LA is. Not too shabby. Getting a few departures, got 9 total departures, 3 active, 6 on file. And then looks like a couple of arrivals, but nothing too wild. Okay.
Denver Center, extended 581, sending me the highest one arrival.
Not sure if I'll call and say one more time.
Extended 581, just sending me the highest one arrival into Denver.
This is 581 Denver Center, I guess.
I get 581.
Digit 581 Rudder, contact over the Garden City VOR. Looks like you're descending, you're still well over 200 miles out from the Denver airport, and the Tide 1 is not an arrival into Denver.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm sorry, class 4. Sorry, my bad.
Archer digit 581 descend via Clash 4 Denver landing south.
Everything class 4, Denver landing south, extended 581.
And once we roll out of the turn, give it a good heading sync. Waiting for wings to go level to set in stone. And wings are about level. Okay, cool. Heading sync looks good. Alright, 1,000 to go to cruise. Wasn't the smoothest to roll out into cruise altitude, but not terrible. Alright, so now we're in cruise, and we're running through some smooth air, nothing too crazy, so we'll turn the fasten seatbelt signs off for the passengers, and we will get our arrival chart loaded up in our EFB, so we're ready to go once we hit that, and we'll look at it here, and we're coming from the, I forgot what transition we were coming from again, hold on a second. I'll go to our legs page here. De Niro. There we go. De Niro's right here. It's just kind of blocked. There we go. De Niro right here, just kind of blocked by one of these icons. Okay. Sweet. Alright. We're in cruise. Our engine gauges are looking good. Verify pressurization. Cabin altitude is 8,000, so that's looking good right there. Cabin climb is not changing. We're at 0 there, so that looks good. Duct pressure is excellent. Alright. Cabin temp's about 70 degrees. Sweet. Alright. So now we're in cruise. We're going to be in cruise for about roughly an hour 15 or so on our way to LA. I will be around because VATSIM is fully staffed for this flight as of right now. And we'll be listening for radio calls, but other than that, we're just hanging out, chilling, sit back, enjoy the views, and we'll be right back with you.
626, same Mach 10. Delta 626, same Mach 10.
Mach number is 0.83 Delta 626.
Perfect. United 2843, same Mach number.
0.80 United 2843.
Right, thank you.
The contrail animations are so interesting in this game because it looks really good coming straight out of the engine right here. You know, it actually looks like contrails, looks, you know, cloudy or whatever, but then you start to look behind it and you have less of an actual contrail and more of just a box. It's a very weird way. About here it starts turning into a box, which I don't really know what's going on there, but you can just ignore the boxiness and just look at this beautiful plane. I'll get it out of view for you guys.
United 2843, maintain Mach 0.79 airlines for space.
79er for United 2843.
Meridian, 2832 Bravo at Denver Center, comes requesting by number 1.
Denver Center, JetBlue 334, level 330.
JetBlue 334, Denver Center, identity. Agent 38 to Denver Center, welcome. JetBlue 334, radar contact 10 miles south of the Mighton viewer. And November 32 Bravo clearance available, advise you to take up.
Ready, copy, 283 Bravo.
November 32 Bravo, you clear the Bozeman Airport via the Casper 3 departure radar vectors lost that is bad. Maintain 1000, expect flight level 29010 MSFS departure. Departure with me, squawk 3770.
Clear to Bozeman, Casper 3 departure, radar vector lost. Then I filed maintain 10,000, that's flight level 210, and 10 minutes left to get departure frequency, and about 3770,
November 32 Bravo, are you back correct? Expect flight level 260 for 10 MSFS departure. Rest of your back is correct, call for taxi.
Alright, looks like flight level 260, 10 minutes left departure, and off taxi.
And just for the purpose of staying ahead of the aircraft, we can go ahead and just take a peek at this arrival procedure here. That way, once we get into it, we're ready to go. So we're just going to look here. Radar required, we're good. RNet 1, yep, DME or GPS, which we have. Los Angeles landing west traffic. Assuming that we're landing west based off of this arrival. There must be a different one if they're landing east, so... Let's see. Expect runway 25 less unless otherwise 25 left unless otherwise assigned. Okay. So we can expect 25 left. Expect a local area altimeter reaching flight level 230. Okay. That doesn't apply to us. We're on the De Niro transition. Okay. And Shatner transition. Okay. Sweet. So we are going to expect 25 left. So let's go to our arrival here. And all of this is good. We're just going to add ILS 25 left. And we'll just do vectors. And then let's go to legs and just verify that everything is exactly the same. So we're direct Jassy, which still remains true. And we'll go along here. And yeah. Circus is the last waypoint on this arrival. Yes, it is. So everything looks good. So we can execute that. And we will leave the discontinuity for now. Once we get closer, I may remove that or throw Honda up to fill this slot. But for now, we'll just leave it. Especially since it's possible we could expect a different runway, although I doubt it. So. Cool, so we're set up there. And then just in case, let's go to our legs page here. We'll pull up the ILS and get that all ready to go because LA is busy and you want to stay ahead of the aircraft and not have all these last minute things to do. since the arrival tells us to expect 25 left, I'm fairly certain we're going to get that. So let's go ahead and set up ahead of time. The first thing I'm going to do is put in the nav frequencies. So reading up here, this just gives us all the controlling agencies and their frequencies and whatnot. We're good there. So localizer frequency is 109.9er. So let's go down here, and I'll use my radio panel, but I'll let you guys see right here, verify that that's the case. 109.9er, flip that to active. Go to nav 2, which is on the right side here. 109.9er, we'll flip that to active. That's good. And we'll wait to set our course heading and all that stuff, but just so we know, 251 is the final approach course. We'll try and remember that. The glide slope intercept is going to be at 1900 feet, which is prescribed here and here, so that checks out. Our ILS decision altitude is 304. Confirm checks here. That's not us. Airport elevation is 128. Touchdown zone elevation is 104. It doesn't give us the runway distance available to us, but that's fine. We know that it's a long runway over at LA. It's a big international airport. If we have to go miss, we're going to climb to 2000 on the heading of 251, which is runway heading. And then once we cross the Santa Monica VOR cross radial here, then we're going to do a left turn to 236, and then outbound on the 195 radial for Santa Monica, we'll head direct to Catley, and we'll hold there. And it looks like it's going to be a direct entry into a hold, and expect further instructions. Right now the weather is really good in LA though, so I have a lot of doubts that we'll have to fly the mist, but just in case, now we have what we need. We're coming from 251, so Circus right here is 235. So from Circus, our MSA is 7,700 feet, our minimum safe altitude. And then once we get to Crane and we track this 251, we can go ahead and 2800 is our new MSA. So right now we'll call it 7,700.
Runway 35 left to take off.
Cool. Angel 4, our nav arrival. We'll pull that back up and we'll just have that ready to go. So, you know what? If we have to change it, we will. Let's go ahead and just do what we need to do. So we have the frequency in both of our nav radios for the ILS. We'll go ahead and flip both course knobs to 251 on the autopilot. We got that ready. And then we have minimums, which is 304. So we'll set our minimums right here to 304. Alright, barrel minimums 304, that checks, good there. And the last thing is getting our VREF speed, which 149 is what it said for the performance, but we're going to just do this. So 25 left. Elevation 98, yep. Runway length is 11,000 feet, that's good. Runway heading 251, runway condition dry, that checks. Let's go ahead and import the aircraft details. This is our weight. Flaps 30, that's good. Everything's looking good. Auto brakes 3, fine by me. VREF added 5, good by me. And then the weather at LA. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll calculate, and we're looking for a VREF of 149, so it's the same. So we'll go to our net ref page, index, approach, and we're going to be flaps 30, and our VREF is going to be 149. And we'll slap that here in the flap / speed setting here. And now we have a ref 30/149. So now we are pretty much all set for the ILS approach once we get to it, and we are ahead of schedule. Unable 280 knots at Gleason. Let's go ahead and change that. So on the arrival, the reason for that is because our speed is below 280 in our VNAV. So to get rid of this message and be able to do the 280 knots at Gleason that they want, we're just going to go ahead and put a /280, and we'll put it there. And then we'll execute as such. And then make sure cruise is the same. Yes, it is. And that checks. So now we got rid of that message. So now we're going to be able to go to, we're going to be able to do the 280 knots at Gleason like the chart prescribes. So that's good. And now we can follow the procedure as necessary. Staying ahead of the game, always. Nice little cloud layer that we're going over as well. That's pretty beautiful. Nice view there. Hey, how we doing, huh? Giving me the Italian hands over here. What's up, Kevin? Were you not able to locate it this whole time? Hey. So Kevin, this is your seat specifically. How do you like the view? Good, I'm glad you like it. Did you learn anything watching so far?
November 6th, try the bitter at Denver.
One thing I will do, LA Center signed offline. That's unfortunate. Okay. So, since that's the case, we're going to expect the Unicom frequency on standby. So we'll just throw in 122.8. Dang. Just missed them. Okay. A little bit of turbulence there. Surely I feel like I can fly a 747 all by myself now. Yeah, that's good. It's the same thing, just 2 more engines. That's it.
November 6th, Charlie, contact Denver approach at 120.35. Delta 626, Lee Meyer Space, LA's offline frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved.
That's going to be me in a second. kind of unfortunate that LA Center signed off. If I could speak, I was ready for full ATC, busy airspace.
November 32 Bravo, fly runway heading runway 26, clear to take off.
Alright, pop quiz, Kevin. When you're ready. Alright, so looking at the ILS for runway 25 left at LA, which we're landing at, the minimums for that approach are 304 feet MSL. I set 304 to barometric minimums. Why would I set barometric minimums to 304 and not radio altimeter minimums? Do you know the answer? Yeah, so you're kind of there. Nice. Barometric pressure is, you know, technically more accurate in this case because the minimums that are prescribed on a instrument approach procedure are in our barometric altitude. What the radio altimeter is actually, it gives you your height above the ground, and that's not what the minimums are prescribed as on the chart. So we want to do barometric because at 304 feet, MSL, our actual, you know, above sea level altitude, that's when we want to go missed. Above ground, I believe that's 200 or 250 feet for the radio altimeter, but it won't be as accurate as barometric pressure. Now, you can do it via radio altimeter if 5G towers weren't screwing it up, but I personally prefer baro because that's just what's prescribed on the chart, and that's, you know, kind of a safety buffer personally to me, but you're pretty much there. Radio altimeter is accurate when 5G towers aren't screwing up the signal, but now we got that, so we just like to forget about the radio altimeter.
For 2832 Bravo, Quadrant lost.
Another thing too is radio altimeters are actually more for like very low vis approaches, like Cat 2 and Cat 3 approaches. They'll use radio altimeter if of course available, if not interfered with. It's always fun going over like the mountainous areas like this. You get a lot of like different terrain. It looks very, very pretty, and it's not like a flat open land like, you know, Nebraska, Iowa, Midwest places.
Southwest 341, Lima Space to the west. LA Center is offline. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved. See ya.
Over to advisory, Southwest 341. Have a good night. Alright, so now we're over to Unicom. Alright. I like your plane emoji there. And we'll just keep VATSIM radar up just in case someone else signs online. We do have SoCal approach. We'll do 124.3. We'll throw that on standby, just in case he's still online by the time we get there. Where's my in-flight meal and my peanuts? Well, you're the only one on board right now, so you could just go in the back and grab them yourself. I'm not going to stop you. Oh boy. You might want to grab those snacks quick though, because if turbulence keeps on doing this, those fasten seatbelt signs are coming right on. Go back to the front here and see what these winds are doing and why it's you know what's crazy though is with this sound pack, I mean even the turbulence sounds insanely good. I hope you got your snacks, because I'm one bad bump away from flipping that seatbelt sign on. Yeah, those turbulence sounds are really good. You can actually hear the plane shaking. I mean, as of right now, it's just a little light turbulence, but occasional moderate. Oh. Oh boy. They should say something along the lines of, buckle up, because it's gonna get wild. Wow, that's a lot of turbulence. Too bad I'm not buckling. base to see if we have... Okay. What is that, Vegas? So Vegas is right here. So we're outside of the severe turbulence segment. But just because we're outside of that area doesn't mean it's not going to get frisky. I mean, we've already seen a bump or two, so seems to have calmed back down for a second, but I hope this turbulence doesn't shake these snake cages open. Yeah, me either. I'm sure Samuel L. Jackson wouldn't want that either. Oh. Oh. Wait a minute. LA Center has signed on. Okay. Alright. Let's go back to the cockpit real quick. 126.525. I almost want to wait for a message from center, but I might just switch over.
Alpha Star 422.
Yep. Oh.
Alpha Star 422, LA Center radar contact, welcome. Same by the Lucky 1 arrival, Limburg altimeter 3003. Lucky 1 arrival, Alpha Star 422 heavy.
LA Center, good evening, Southwest 341, flight level 360.
Southwest 341, LA Center radar contact, welcome.
Sweet. Well, you know what, since you're the only one on board, you're gonna have to do some sweeping.
Southwest 3136, LA Center, welcome, runway 26 left, clear to land.
What is that, a cat? What in the actual...
You're coming in very, very broken.
Yeah, that was... What was that? Ugh. I'm glad that wasn't just me. Well, it's a good thing I got the flight deck door locked. You're on your own, bud.
Los Angeles Center, Delta 626 at flight level 380. Delta 626, LA Center radar contact, welcome. LA Center, HB bed 0 point, please stay on the channel front. Super 2 Mike Whiskey, LA Center radar contact, welcome. Descend by the Chow 3 arrival, runway 26 left, Los Angeles altimeter 2974. Descend by the Chow 3, expect 26 left and 2974, speed 2 Mike Whiskey. Got me there when I checked it. For 1 minute Tango A firm, welcome. American 739 at circuit cleared ILS runway 25 left approach. At circuit cleared ILS 25 left approach, American 739. Yeah, 1960, expect vectors ILS runway 25 left. Expect vectors ILS 25 left, 1960. So 1152. LA Center, you're going to be leaving my airspace in just a couple miles. Forgive change, Chris.
North side, Delta 126. LA Center, Vanessa, 15, let's go, level 9 now.
The 17 New York Golf, LA Center, radar contact, welcome. The stand-up Barbara altimeter 29907. There's 17 New York Golf, enable safe first request in Oxnard.
Chasing the snakes? Oh man.
Right, you can expect that.
Are you chasing them or are they chasing you?
That's how I'm starting on 76 on there. We went right to the monkey.
But 3176 left on Ontario, crush 926 right at Kilo, Tex, parking by November.
26 right kilo.
Surely you can't be serious.
Southwest 1571, probable 350.
1571, LA Center, radar contact, welcome. Southwest 1571, squawk 2216.
2216, Southwest 1571.
Oh, did you set me up? Did I miss it?
LA Center, good evening. Southwest 423.
Wait, when did you set me up for that joke?
423, LA Center, radar contact, welcome.
LA Center, Frontier Flight 152, flight level 360.
Flight 152, LA Center, welcome. Flight 152, radar contact.
When I said surely I can fly a 747. Oh, you know what? I didn't even realize you said surely.
17 New York Golf, turn left heading 080.
I just saw the I can fly a 747 now. Well, there you go. I got it, you know, about 45 minutes later. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Spirit 2 Mike Whiskey, contact Las Vegas, approach 135.0, yeah.
I just want to say good luck, and we're all counting on you.
So that's 423, descend via the Rockstock 4 arrival, runway 26 left transitional. Las Vegas altimeter 2974.
Send by the Rockstar 4, 26 left transition, Las Vegas altimeter is,
Stand by.
Okay, so now we're gonna go back into the cockpit, and we're going to start preparing for our descent here. Top of descent is coming up very soon. Oh, you know what? Did I ever take that discontinuity out? Go to legs here. You know what? No, I didn't. So let's go ahead and take that out. Okay. And see where our top of descent lies. Oh, we're still about 160 miles out. Okay, so that's actually not even all that close. I'm right. We'll check out that sweet sunset from the front. Go ahead and start getting our display units. Brightness is down so we don't get blinded once the sun does set. The shading in here is pretty good, though, I will say.
United 9546, LA Center, welcome, coming to level 250.
Actually, this got me curious. So we're at flight level 360. We want to be between 240 and 300 by Gleason. Oh, yeah, we... Okay, yeah, we got a distance before we really need to drop down. Okay. That's fine. That lighting looks so weird. That is some beautiful shading, though. That's not all too bad. The ground looks a little odd, but I buy it. We made peace. I am now a snake charmer. Ooh. I want to hear you play one of those tunes that they dance to.
1960, just to maintain 4,000. 4,000 at 1960. American 739, maintain 230 knots or greater. 230 knots or greater for American 739.
It's not even a guitar, it's a type of horn, isn't it? Some kind of like recorder type thing.
So that's 3808, LA Center, radar contact, welcome.
Whenever I fly VATSIM, I should probably start turning these nameplates off. They really only help if the traffic is on flight sim itself, but I do also feel like I get the live traffic that's not actually logged into VATSIM, so it might just be beneficial to turn those nameplates off and do it as realistically as possible. I mean, traffic is pretty hard to find in real life. I struggle quite a bit sometimes. Even when you do your proper scans, they very easy to miss.
3176, that was in our current progress, clear PDC. LA Center, Delta 626, question. Go ahead. Do you want me descending on arrival to San Diego? Delta 626, descend on the Lucky 1 arrival, Limburg altimeter 3003. Lucky 1 arrival 3003, Delta 626.
Never ask a controller when you're getting your descent. They get angry. This guy was a lot nicer about it. Yes, however, a guitar does exist that can do the same notes as that horn, called a microtonal guitar,
right, heading 130.
which has frets in between the frets that then makes each fret a quarter tone different from the...
American 739, we cruised to slow down a bit. We're on about a 10 mile. American 739, maintain 180 knots or greater until GG, contact Limburg Tower 120.95. 180 greater till GG and tower on 120.95, American 739, thanks a lot. And 1960, turn right 220 till localizer. 1960, localizer, 1960. Frontier flight 152, descend about Hollywood 1 arrival, the Los Angeles altimeter 3000. Then be the Hollywood 1 arrival, Frontier flight 152. So the 423, contact Los Angeles approach 135.0, yeah. Las Vegas approach 135.0, Southwest 423, have a good one. LA Center, Southwest 378, with you, I think 6,500 to 15,000. 378, LA Center, welcome, climbing to 370.
So it seems like SoCal... Oh, they had a staff change, so the guy that's on there right now has only been on for 40 minutes, so we can actually expect them to still be online when we get in the area. So we're going to stand by 124.3.
Star 422 at Lindy, cleared runway 27 approach. Lindy, cleared runway 27 approach, I'll start.
Verify the correct frequency, 124.3. Yep, cool. Alright, sweet.
372 Nergal, 4 miles from Nelly, turn right heading 230, maintain at 3000 until established, cleared ILS runway 25 approach.
I need one of those. Oh, next one. Made famous by Australian psychedelic rock band King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, one of my favorites. They have 3 albums based on that concept using those guitars, and it sounds so good. I need one of those guitars. Yeah, you'd be good at that, honestly. I think you would rock that thing. Huh. Here I am, flying a 737, getting a guitar lesson.
Today, for Dr. Stylish, you iOS 2.0 solution. Center, American 795, passing 9,000 for 7,000. American 795, LA Center, welcome, climbing to close 390. Up to 390 for American 795.
Okay, top of descent is coming in just
contact Las Vegas, first 135.
over 80 miles, so we'll zoom in just a little bit.
November 1, Lima Tango, expect vectors ILS running 25 left approach.
Expecting ILS 25 approach from the Tango.
I do not have an in-plane music player, but I will have to check it out. Could be very interesting.
Two 17 er Golf Wind 1803, runway 25, clear to land.
Runway 25, 15 like that.
Center United 81 4th out, climb the sit. United 81 LA Center radar contact. Welcome, climbing to level 410. 410, glad to be here, 81.
Glad to be here. Nice guy, nice guy. I love good attitudes.
LA Center, welcome, climbing to level 330.
Now this is going to be one of those arrivals that's really important to, you know, properly follow the procedure, altitude restrictions and speed restrictions and so forth, because it's going to be nighttime. It's going to be extremely dark. The mountains don't have a lot of lights on them, and we're going over mountains, so, you know, you definitely follow the procedures strictly so you don't run into something. It's a good test of your instrument skills. Go ahead and change the...
Center stop on 3176 on all carrier ready for push on to November 1 with the Western.
So that's 3176, push on star 5 discretion, 500 taxi, expect 926 right.
Taxi 6 right, taxi 31.
I gotta get a different overlay for the flight information. I just can't seem to get it to work.
Yeah, 1960, contact LA Tower 120.95, yep. 295,
So. I think I've heard that more on this flight alone than I have in like a whole month of VATSIM.
Tower, can I ask you a quick question?
Go ahead.
Sorry, Center, are you playing Microsoft or X-Plane?
I use both.
Alright, quick question. I'm playing X-Plane right now and all my water is just black.
Did you turn on your oxygen?
Say it again?
It sounds like your plane's like depressurized or something. Or it's something else with your monitor. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's my plane. It's literally like, since I took off out of Phoenix, every like little river and lake and like the whole ocean is black.
Oh, I have no idea then.
Alright, thanks anyway.
Suspicious.
That might be a restart.
I would think so.
Alpha Star 422, contact Limburg Tower 118.32.
18-3 outside 422 heavy, thanks again.
Nope. You have a stuck mic?
X15, 10, LA Center, welcome.
Oh no.
LA Center United 292, 383 push.
Yeah, 292, LA Center, welcome.
It's weird, all of the water in his scenery is black. I feel like that's a scenery package load error or something.
So 1571, descend by the Comet 2 arrival, Limerick altimeter 3003.
0370 Comet, arrival 15.
So that's 3808, descend by the Comet 2 arrival, the Limerick altimeter
Total air
3003.
temperature has stayed consistently negative 32 for this whole flight. That's really interesting. Not even like a degree off.
LA Center, good evening. United 63, flight level 350.
Unit 63, LA Center, radar contact open.
Very interesting, yes. What do I... what do we... Very interesting, yes, go ahead.
So that's 341, descend via the Angel 4 arrival, the Ontario altimeter 29908.
Alright, 908, descend via Angel 4, Southwest 341. Alright, cool. So we were...
Correction, United 9456, descend by the Rounders 3 arrival.
Okay.
Runway 265 transition.
So seatbelt signs are coming on.
2973.
There we go. And let's look at the bottom of our arrival so I know what altitude to set the autopilot to. So the bottom of this crossing over Circus is 12,000 feet. So we're going to set that in our altitude bug. Set 12,000 feet, and we set our descent profile for VNAV so we're able to do the 280 knots that is required of this arrival in our descent page. And we're still in VNAV mode, that's good. So now, since we're about 40 miles out, yeah, you know what, I'll go ahead and hit descend now. I feel like we have enough, we're close enough to where we're not just going to have to stop our descent before we hit a waypoint. So now we're going to start our descent. We already have our approach information loaded. We are expecting 25 left because that's what the chart tells us to expect, and ATC did not give us an alternate runway. So we're keeping everything we have for 25 left. We're looking good. And while we're ahead of the plane, just verify. Both courses are 251, which is the runway course. Go down to the radio panel. We are 109.9 on both nav frequencies, so we have dual nav. That's good. We're going to want that for the ILS. And then we have our minimums, 304 barrel minimums, and our VREF flaps 30 at 149. All right. We're set up for the descent and the arrival and the approach.
Number 1, Lima Tango, descend to maintain 4,000.
Down to 4,000 for 1 Lima Tango.
So 3176, land 23010, runway 26, right, clear takeoff.
And then I'll get the altimeter setting on standby. First I'll do a heading sync. So 29908 is what we're expecting for the altimeter. So we'll get that on standby, but we'll leave standard activated. 29908 is on standby. So once we get closer to 18,000 feet, we'll flip it over and then we'll do our we'll go to the local altimeter setting. And I believe that's it. We're looking good for the rest of this approach. Excuse me, sir. Language like that might get you a timeout.
72 New York, Alpha, welcome to Oxnard, thanks for parking via Alpha, I believe.
Center United 63, the computer says we should ask you for lower.
Very sorry.
Yeah, 63, descend by the Ironman 2 arrival at Bench Falconberg 3000.
3000 on the box to send me the Ironman, I've got Ironman 2, United 63.
Hey, from Ironman 2 arrival.
I am seeing some clouds up in the distance that we
3176.
may descend through, so anti-ice is likely in the near future. So we'll keep that in mind as we get lower.
Climbing tank level 290.
Alexander, American 795, subway about 5 minutes.
American 795, that's approved, reporting back.
Roger that.
November 1, Lima Tango, 9 miles from GG, turn right heading 220. Maintain 2,600 until established. Clear ILS, runway 25 left approach.
Turn right heading 20. What was that altitude then? So established for one of the Tango?
2,600.
2,600.
Look at that beautiful sunset. Now we're doing a nice night landing.
Delta 3808, squawk tree 44.
That was up for Southwest 38, you right?
Yep.
Delta 3808, squawk tree 44.
Alright, 3344, Southwest 38, you right.
Delta 3136, Akron.
Right, the aircraft is doing a good job at maintaining about 280 knots. We know that the 737 doesn't really like to slow down all that well, but it's doing a decent job. No drag required. We will keep an eye on it, but I do like what I'm seeing.
So that's 3906, runway 20 right, taxi via Alpha Lima, crushing 820 left at Lima.
LA Center, America 4822, flight level 320.
American 4822, LA Center, well.
LA Center, Delta 62, Echo, passing flight level 6200.
Delta 62 Echo, LA Center, welcome. Yeah, 9546, contact Las Vegas Fresh 135.0. Delta 626 at Lindy, clear runway 27 approach. Runway 27 approach, Delta 626.
Alright, Kevin, landing is nigh, so pay close attention and learn a thing or
November
two.
1 Lima Tango, contact LA Tower 120.95. Yep.
Over the tower, I think they see you.
Oh, you know what?
So that's 3176, clear at Misen. So that's 3906, runway 20 right, clear for takeoff.
I should pour a massive cup of water over my head so I'm like dripping.
Yeah, 324 LA Center, welcome, climbing, maintain level 290.
My favorite joke of the movie. I had a bit of a drinking problem. Yeah, that's probably among the top tier. I think my favorite is the hospital. What is it? Well, it's a big building with patients, but that's not important right now.
Frontier Flight 152, SCView cleared ILS 225 left approach. SCView cleared ILS 25 left approach, Frontier Flight 152. Hold on, 3906. Radar contact, climb maintain 8000.
Starting to get towards a populated area. There's a little bit of a city light glowing underneath these clouds. We're definitely going to hit some clouds, so the...
So the 3906, turn rating 250, radar vectors.
Anti-ice is probably coming on. Yeah. No, I've been nervous many times. Oh man.
LA Center, Frontier Flight 152, just letting you know I don't have a discontinuity in my flight plan. I don't know if I'm supposed to. I didn't clear it out, I just don't have one. Frontier Flight 152, negative, you shouldn't. Okay, sorry about that, I usually do. I just didn't know. Sorry about that, Frontier Flight 152.
You don't want a discontinuity, dude. The only reason I left a discontinuity was just in case of a runway change. Alright. Alright, so now that we've intercepted our VNAV profile, we'll go ahead and alert the flight attendants of final descent. And we'll get all the aisles cleaned up, all the trash thrown out, and then flight attendants take their seats. And we're getting close, so now we're going to go sterile cockpit. We're going to focus on the flight and get ourselves safely on the ground.
Welcome back. Climbing safe level 290.
Alright. Everything's looking good. We're following our VNAV profile. Altitude restrictions are met. Speed restrictions are also met. Going to verify the speeds here. We're 280 until Circus, and then at Circus we're 270. That makes sense. Cool. Oops. All of the master cautions turn on at once. Uh-oh. Psych. I accidentally hit the test button. Okay. Alright. So, we're going to reduce the zoom on the map again. We're about less than 40 miles from Circus, so ATC should be getting back to us relatively shortly. double up.
American 1621, LA Center, welcome.
Center, hello, Delta 553, 18.8, leveling 19.
LA Center, Delta 626, try get on the tower frequency. Delta 553, contact, or climbing take level 290.
Let me take 290, thanks, Delta 553.
Delta 626, heavy, you can now, contact Limburg Tower 118.3, yep. 118.3, Delta 626, yep.
Okay, 120905 is
Echo, climbing take level
tower.
340,
So I'm going to write that down just so I have it on standby ready to go. I also have it on the approach.
Circus, cleared ILS 224, right approach.
At Circus, cleared ILS 25 left for Southwest 341.
So that's 341, do you want 25 left? 24 right, could be a shorter taxi.
Oh, we can take 25 right, sorry about that, Southwest 341.
So 341 negative, 24 right.
24 right, I'm so sorry, Southwest 341.
No worries.
Alright, 24.
Expect vectors ILS for 925.
So let's go ahead and do that then. It's a shorter taxi, so we'll do ILS 24 right. ILS 24 right. Go to our legs page here.
Expect vectors ILS for 925 left.
Okay, we'll expect the vectors for 25 left, United 60.
So let's go to our approach here. We'll pull up the chart.
3808 at Cloman, cleared RNAV.
And we're going to have to fix everything. So we did have a runway change. So let's do this fast. Alright, so 24 right approach. We're going to be, where's the top of the page here? The frequency is 108.5, so let's get that in both navs frequencies. 108.5 for both nav, cool. Our course is still 251, so that's kind of cool. Minimums are going to be 322, yeah, 322 instead of 304. Oops, that's the wrong button. We're flight level 180, so we'll go to altimeter setting, 321 for our minimums. 322, sorry. Alright, so we're going to cross over Circus, and then it's going to be direct Mercy. Or direct Skull. So let's go ahead and go back to our arrival page. We want the ILS 24 right. ILS 24 right, we're going to start at Circus. And then we're going to go to our legs page. For direct Boyle, and yeah, we'll execute that. Cool. Alright, we're looking pretty good. Alright, now we are set for our approach. Easy money. Runway changes.
2588, cross Skull, flight level 250.
Said that incorrect runway 3 times, so that's a L on my part, but whatever. So now we have the correct approach loaded. We're going to be doing 24 right. And then, so after Circus, we're cleared ILS 24 right, and crossing over Skull, we want to be at 10,000. And then it's a 1,000 foot step down for every waypoint until Mercy, then it's down to 2,200. And the final approach fix is Kobe, so 2200 MSL, and then we follow the glide slope down. Alright. So let's go ahead and put that down to 10,000, the altitude bug.
American 3179, LA Center, welcome. Clear to the Dallas Fort Worth Airport. Mission 4 departure. Captain transition, then filed. Maintain 8,000. Expect all 3505 minutes after departure. Departure with me, going 6712.
Alright, the temperature rapidly rose to plus 11 Celsius, so we are plenty above freezing, so when we go through these clouds we will not need any anti-ice, so that's good. Good to know.
departure, and then add file 8,000 initially 3501 departure 67 on 110.
Okay, so
31
okay, so this guy is departure only. So we will not be contacting approach. We'll be going straight to tower because he's departure only. So we'll go 120905 on standby and just have that ready to go. Niner 50, verify that's correct in the radio panel. Yep, there we go. Cool. Sweet.
Cal 135, LA Center radar contact position is reported. Welcome. Cal 135, are you able? File 430.
That's a bird, man. That will be
Roger. Dynasty 135, coming in as level 430.
So we'll go through a cloud layer, a little bit of an instrument skill. Nothing too crazy, thin layer, but
You're on the meter and descend the Angel 4 Delta 553.
sounds like he's actually in a plane. Got that little bit of an undertone.
Contact Albuquerque Center 132.8.
Over to Albuquerque Center for American 795, thanks.
Bro, that's me constantly.
Breakdown 1621, spins by the Lucky One arrival, Limburg altimeter 3003.
Alright. So I'm actually going to put this down to our final approach intercept 2,200 because it looks like it's going to hold 10,000 by the time we get to Skull. So 2,200, and this plane should do the proper step down.
2588, contact Albuquerque Center 132.8.
And we'll zoom into about 20 nautical miles on the MFD.
Center, Southwest 4714, passing 9,300 for 17,000. Southwest 4714, LA Center, welcome, copy 6,370.
Alright, we're coming up on 10,000 feet. Let's get our landing lights on and our runway turnoffs on. We don't really need both runway turnoffs, but I like to.
709 Foxtrot Lima, LA Center, welcome.
And we're turning onto our final approach course.
626, LA Center. Delta 626 with you.
And let's get
626 LA Center, welcome. Turn left heading 330. Expect vector.
Let's get some drag in there. It's having some trouble
heading,
slowing down.
What was that again? 330, please. 330 Delta 626.
And are there any speed restrictions we gotta be worried about? No. There's not. But we will speed intervene as necessary.
1571, contact Limburg Tower 118.32. 18.3.
And then once we get both our localizer and our glide slope on standby, I'll go ahead and arm the approach mode so we can intercept that approach. And that is identified by white diamonds that will show up on your PFD here. And then once we arm the approach mode, we'll turn on Command B so we have a dual ILS autopilot.
29 LA Center, welcome, climbing 6,000, your radar contact. And 63, descend and maintain 2,600.
You were cut out there, 2,600 was it?
Yeah, we're about to go through the clouds.
63.
Okay, you're at 63, 2,600 now. I appreciate the swap over to the south side.
And this aircraft is in fact doing good at maintaining the proper altitudes for each waypoint along the approach. So that's good.
At 324, able Mach 0.74.
And then let's see how many miles each waypoint is.
324, Rudder, maintain Mach 0.74 greater.
Okay,
So we're looking at about... Okay, so we're going to want to do... I'm going to intervene with the speed in just a second here, and we're going to slow down to 210.
Maintain 5,000. Make a right turn heading 0900 and maintain 5,000.
So 210 on the speed.
Tennessee 135, log 3557.
And we're going through the clouds. Look at that. Instrument skill. Let's go. Alright, so we picked up the localizer. White diamond did show up on the bottom here. So that's on standby.
Butcher flight 152, contact LA Tower 120.952.
2095, make sure HCCS, Frontier Flight 152.
You're 324 descend, via around there's 3 arrival, runway 26.
Just making sure there's no speed restrictions here. There is not.
Maintain 300 not the greater in the transition.
Okay. I'm satisfied with the chart. I don't need that anymore. We'll go to airport info. We're expecting 24 right.
Yeah, the one with the arm. And then altimeter 2970 will expect the people to maintain 30 not the greater for the.
Okay. Alright, a glide slope is coming in, so we will arm the approach mode. And we can take out our speed brakes. Throw on Command B because approach mode is armed.
American 470 LA Center, welcome, climbing take level 280.
And now,
63, 11 miles from GG,
we'll start introducing flaps. Let's go to speed 200 and we'll get the slats down.
Okay, heading 220 and maintain 2,600 until joining the ILS 25 left approach. United 63.
And then we want to be 180 knots by the time we get 10 miles out. And feet are going to be on the rudders.
7 Mike Bravo, we're looking at IFR to Stanley, so I've got 10 level.
7 Mike Bravo, LA Center, welcome, clear to San Luis Obispo Airport via radar vectors Gaviota VOR, then unfiled. Maintain 6,000.
Slow down to 180.
Frequency with me, squawk 4603.
And we'll get flaps 5.
Alright, we're cleared to the San Luis Obispo Airport, radar vectors to Gaviota VOR, then unfiled. We'll climb and maintain 6,000. Departure will be with you, and then we'll squawk 4603, November 7 Mike Bravo.
You're back, correct?
At least on the Southwest 38 radius, on the 5 mile time official time.
So 38 radar, apologize. Contact number tower 18.32.
Stay over the tower.
Air 777 Heavy, LA Center, welcome. Air
We're
777 Heavy, descend at
starting to get below the cloud layer.
26 left transition, Las Vegas altimeter 2973. Air 709 Foxtrot Lima, descend at Hollywood 1 arrival, the Ontario altimeter 2998.
Okay, we're slowing our descent. We should intercept the glide slope here very shortly.
Tennessee 135, descend at Angel 4 arrival.
And the
Ontario
approach
altimeter
mode should take
2998.
over.
Plus 3176, contact Las Vegas First 135.0.
Southwest 4714, can I step away for 2 minutes?
So that's 4714, it's approved, reporting back.
Reporting back, thank you, Southwest 4714.
Southwest 3906, descend by the rounders 3 arrival, runway 26 left transition. Las Vegas altimeter 2973, do not exceed 280 knots in the transition.
Alright, 10 miles out. Let's go ahead and drop the gear. There we have 3 greens. And 3 greens up top as well. Our gear is down. Let's go ahead and do auto brake to 3 as planned. We'll arm the speed brake.
Make a right turn 180, climb maintain 5,000 immediately to 626.
Alright, slow down to 160, flaps 15.
2,500.
And tower's still online. I'm surprised I didn't get a handoff yet. I'll call if I don't hear anything 5 miles out. Alright, the approach is armed and active.
That's 341, contact LA Tower 120.905.
120.905, Southwest 341. Have a good night.
Yeah, 6 degree, contact LA Tower 120.905. Yeah.
Okay. LA Tower, good evening. Southwest 341 inbound ILS 24 right.
Southwest 341 LA Tower, good evening. Wind 230 at 10, runway 24 right, clear to land.
24 right, cleared to land, Southwest 341. Alright, we'll go to our VRF speed 149. We'll drop
LA
flaps
Tower,
25.
63 ILS 25 left. Good evening.
Good 63 LA Tower, good evening. Wind 230 at 10, runway 25 left, clear to land.
And we'll go flaps 30 once we're 5 miles out.
United 63.
Frontier Flight 152, welcome to LA. Cross, runway 25 right on Juliet, safe parking.
Frontier Flight 152, cross.
Okay. And we're about to go into dual channel mode. Yep, now we got the command. That's good. Flaps 30. And I'll take over the throttle from here. Silence that. And we'll maintain VREF. And we're coming below the cloud layer.
LA Tower, okay, Southwest 2785, ready to push with Charlie.
Southwest 2785 LA Tower, thanks for Charlie. Push in start into Delta 8 alleyway at your discretion. Call back, ready for taxi.
1,000.
Push approach to Delta 8, we'll call you for taxi. Southwest 175.
Picked up a little speed there. Alright, runway's in sight. We'll fly by hand.
Frontier Flight 152, left turn Charlie, right turn Kilo, and monitor this frequency.
We're getting a little bit to the right side here. Let's correct for that.
Right turn Kilo, Frontier 152.
500.
Frontier Flight 152.
400.
Ooh. Little bit of a wind shift there.
300. Approaching minimum.
Wanna stay on glide path.
Oh, I'm sorry, LA Tower, can you say those instructions one more time?
Minimum.
Continue.
Sure, no problem. You can choose any gate of choice.
Ooh,
I'm just gonna
stutter.
send you over to
Not
the
good.
north side. I think you said Charlie. So you
Big
can
stutter.
go left turn Charlie, right turn Charlie, pick your standard joint.
50.
Okay, left turn Charlie, right
40.
turn Charlie. Sorry about
10.
that, Frontier 152.
Alright, nice touchdown. Maintain center line. 2 in reverse. Our auto brakes are going to brake for us. Alright, 60 knots reversers are coming out. We'll go ahead and take over manual braking. We'll just flip that to off.
Southwest 341, welcome to LA. Cross runway 24 left on Victor or Whiskey, whichever one you prefer. And then taxi to parking via Echo Charlie 7, or Echo Delta 7, sorry.
Alright, cross 24 left and on Victor, and then taxi via Echo Delta 7 Southwest 341. Have a good night.
You too.
Alright, so speed brakes are coming out. That was a good landing. I like it. Now we're coming off the runway, so let's get our taxi light on, APU started.
Hotel, hold short 25 right at Juliet, safe parking.
And then let's
we'll
just double
continue
check.
on Hotel.
Oh, we're
Juliet
on Yankee.
short of
Oops.
25 right. We're parking at 84 tonight.
So we're going Echo and then Delta 7. So all the way at the end there. Oops, don't want to go off here. We're going to leave our landing lights and our strobe lights on since we're crossing an active runway. And I'm just going to verify that the APU is turning on. Yes, it is. Cool. Alright, let's go ahead and retract our flaps. And then Echo is the first taxiway on the left after crossing the runway. And slow down just a little bit for the turn. You like that one, Kevin?
United 63, cross runway 25 right at Juliet, taxi Bravo, Charlie 6 to the gates, and monitor this frequency.
Okay, cross runway 25 right at Juliet, and then Bravo Charlie 6 to the gate.
Alright, strobes are coming off, landing lights and runway turn-off lights are also coming off, taxi light is staying on. And we can go ahead and turn our yaw damper and our probe heats off as well. Yeah, we know. I'm pretty sure it's bread, but I appreciate the thought. Oh, it is butter, okay. It's hard to see, it's very small for me on my second screen. So Delta 7 is all the way on the end. And we're looking for parking bays, terminals. No, I don't even actually know. We're looking for gate 17B. So which one would that apply to? Okay. I don't believe that that's it. That one's not it either. No, that's not it. Oops. Nope, no low vis. Okay, yeah, this is what we want right here. And then we're going to 17B. So, let's zoom in here. And 17B, oh, actually is right at the top of the terminal here. That's pretty interesting. Oh, excuse me. Okay. I can't believe it's butter. Alright, so verify our speed brakes are stowed, so our thrust reversers, that's good. Flaps are up, we're good there. Auto brake is off.
Aircraft in Los Angeles, information Delta current, altimeter 3001.
Okay, APU bleed is going to come on, so when we shut the engines off, the passengers are still getting air. Yep, and that's because we got a dual bleed, which is fine for now.
Southwest 2785 ready to pass.
Southwest 2785 LA Tower, good evening, altimeter 3001, runway 24 left, taxi via Delta 8 Echo. You'll follow company on Echo that's coming into Delta 7.
That's me.
Okay, runway 24 left, Delta Echo.
You're following me. Don't run into me, please. I don't like being run into, especially when I'm in an aircraft. Just personal preference. Okay, we'll pull up the airport diagram just one more time so we make sure we're on the correct taxiway. So we're looking for not this next right turn, but the one after it. Okay. And Delta 7 is off to our right. We're going to verify that there's no traffic that's going to hit us, which there is not. That's good. And then 17B is this gate over here. We're looking to park right here. I hope I'm correct on that. We'll turn the taxi light off so we don't blind the ground crew. Yep, 17B, right there. Look at that. And we'll go out here and try and follow this line.
Departure, for planning purposes, departure is closing. You're going to be going to 126.525 when I release you.
That line is curved for some reason. That's really interesting. That's not supposed to be like that. And we're just going to stop. We're going to clear Delta over here. That jet bridge is extended very far out for some reason, but we'll just stop right there. That's probably plenty good. Okay, cool. And we are at our gate, so let's go ahead and turn the parking brake, cut both engines, come up here, turn the APU gen on, and we'll turn the fasten seatbelt signs off. Cool. Packs are on auto. ISOL valve can open. APU bleed is on. And let's verify. Hydraulic pumps are coming off. Let's go up and down. So our fuel pumps, except for left forward, will come off since we're running the APU. Go back to APU gen. We have positive indications on charge. That's good. APU gen is on. Good. Fasten seatbelt signs are off. And window heat can come off. Anti-ice is staying off. Hydraulic pumps are off. Packs are on auto. Cool. We'll turn the engine bleeds off just so we don't get that dual bleed indication. Beacon can come off now that the engines are off and below 20% and 1. And that's good for that. We'll go ahead and turn the dome light on to dim. Verify that everything up here looks good. It does. And then we will put some chocks on. Oop, wrong one. Put some chocks on, and we will send the jet bridge to the door. Unbuckle. Oh goodness, that's funny. Looks like someone spawned at the gate right next to me. That's a very slow jet bridge. Oh, don't tell me it's going to stop there. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, cool. Come up to the plane.
Attention all aircraft. LA Tower is closing.
All right.
One.
Ooh, I got here just on time. All right. So let's open the door. And now passengers may exit the aircraft as they do so desire. And now we are in a turnaround state. Sweet. Well, there we have it. Welcome to Los Angeles International.
Actually, the departure frequency is coming back on, so it's going to be 128.05.
That's kind of cool.
Anyone on the ground at LA that still hears me, 128.05 for further service.
All right, cool. So that completes our flight to LA. Welcome, welcome to Los Angeles International. Non-stop service from Denver. We thank you for flying Southwest. And that was a pretty good flight. The only thing that I really screwed up was forgetting to turn my auto throttle on before departure. So we sped just a little bit by only like 10 knots. We hit 260 below 10,000, and then I realized the auto throttle wasn't on. But other than that, everything was super smooth. Hit a couple of bumps in the air. It was getting a little bit turbulent about halfway through, but that didn't last very long. And, yeah, so, me and the snakes leaving the plane as friends to have a night of heavy drinking in LA. Well, you and the snakes better have a good time, sir. But that's all I got for tonight. It feels good to be back on stream after about 3 weeks, and hopefully soon. I'm not entirely sure when I'll stream again. Maybe within the next 2 days I'll be able to. maybe even tomorrow night, to be honest with you. But thank you to all who joined. For any real pilots who might be joining in and seeing my videos, I have intentions on making a video on a certain scenic flight in the Niagara Falls area, just to help you guys not get deviations from two separate companies, you know, Transport Canada and the FAA. That's my intention anyway. Don't know how long it's going to take. I need the time to actually make the video and edit it, so we'll see. But I do have that in mind. For everyone who wants to join in the future, feel free to do so. And give me some flight suggestions. If you want to see me fly somewhere, if you want a certain flight, let me know, and I'll do that for you. But yeah, potential stream tomorrow night, and we'll go from there. Thanks for joining, and have a good night, and we will see you.